ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। भज गोविंदं गोविंदं भज मूढ़मते। संप्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्ष्यति डुङ्कृञ्जकरणे। भगवत गीता किञ्चिदधीता गङ्गाजललव कणिका पीता। सकृदपि येन मुरारि समर्चा क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा। भज गोविंदं गोविंदं भज मूढ़मते। गोविंदं भज मूढ़मते। As we have been discussing this point, that the verse highlighted that one has to go through discipline. Only when a person goes through discipline will not be afraid of anything in life. The Yama means the Lord of Death will not discuss about that person. So when Yama wants to discuss about you, how he will discuss? Starting with disease related to physical body, then creating sense of loss, mental agony, and finally the death. So these are the three steps of Yama. So here he says, Yama will not discuss, Yama will not think of, means that disease will be less or no disease, of course based on prarabdha, but it will be reduced definitely. Secondly, that sense of loss will not be predominant in your life. And of course, when you understand the truth, the reality, that you are immortal, definitely there is no death for you either. So that's why study Bhagavad Gita. So here studying Bhagavad Gita, understanding essence of Bhagavad Gita, because there are points you should understand. I have come across different type of discourses. So always there was a Swami, he used to say all the time, look, one verse if you can understand from this scripture, from Bhagavad Gita, you have understood everything. You understand? If you understand one verse of Bhagavad Gita, you have understood everything. What a fascinating statement. Remember, this statement has no value. Only kindles some fire for some time. After that, that fire will wipe out by itself. How do you know that that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? From one verse. In fact, to understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, or that verse is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, you have to study entire Bhagavad Gita. You understand? But when a person says, look, this verse, if you understand one verse, you understand entire Bhagavad Gita. It's very nice to hear, but nothing you gain. So these sort of talks are available everywhere. Earlier it was, nowadays more available on net and everywhere. So that's why study Bhagavad Gita every day. Means what we say, swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. There is one injunction. One is supposed to study every day, because to take care of the rishi runam, there is a debt with reference to rishis. So in order to take care of that debt, you have to study every day. However, and Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, going for pilgrimage means learning to accommodate, learning to compromise. Whatever comes on the way, you cannot say, no, this is how it's supposed to be. My accommodation should be like this, my food should be like this, people should be like this, everything should be the way I want. Remember, that's not the life at all. Life is learning to accommodate, moving forward, not staying in one place. So when a person is completely stuck, means is completely stubborn or within oneself, that person is a stagnant, like a stagnant water. So if the water is stagnant, you know what happens. It's not useful, it is just visible, but not useful. Nobody will drink a stagnant water. Yes, definitely it's useful for the plants. So that plants takes care of it, you understand? Other than that, nothing. However, coming back here, and of course, sakrudapiyena murari samarcha, accepting the Ishvara in life, which was highlighted that every day doing puja, even for a few minutes. Because unless these are the things are there, definitely the person will not be able to grow out of it. So with this, now let us look at the next verse. What does it talk? Let us read. So this is another disciple also talks. Punarapi jananaṃ, punarapi maraṇaṃ, punarapi jananījaṭharē śayanam, iha samsārē bahudustārē, kṛpayā'pārē, pāhi murārē, punarapi jananaṃ, punarapi maraṇaṃ, punarapi jananījaṭharē śayanam, iha samsārē bahudustārē, kṛpayā'pārē, pāhi murārē. Bhaja govindam, bhaja govindam, govindam bhaja murāre, govindam bhaja murāre. As usual, this verse is highly quoted and of course misquoted. If you listen to any talks, especially Indian people talk, any scholars or any pep talks or everywhere, punarapi jananaṃ, punarapi maraṇaṃ, punarapi jananījaṭharē śayanam, only that much, okay? Next line you will not listen to it. Everywhere is highly quoted. Very unfortunate thing to listen to. But the purpose of this verse is here that the God's grace is very important. Unless God's grace is there in your life, you cannot cross over this samsāra, which does not have any shore. Means bankless river, imagine. Shoreless ocean. Apara means there is no shore at all. You need God's grace. This is what is being highlighted here. How? We'll see first. Says punarapi jananaṃ, punarapi maraṇaṃ. Punarapi jananījaṭharē śayanam. Just people highlight this much because, okay, now you are going to be again birth, again going to die, again getting into the womb of the mother, and this is what life is. So that means be aware of it. Everybody knows it. What is why you are highlighting this thing? Better you should know so that you shut your mouth. You understand? That's not the point. The point is here highlighting. Because these are the small things you need to understand. How people talk unnecessary things in a very articulate way. And the way they articulate, that becomes very fascinating. But deep within we learn nothing, only some sense of guilt, nothing. And they encash that sense of guilt in people, nothing else. And that is how their main target is not to teach but to encash. And in order to encash, they really plan themselves to talk, they prepare themselves to talk. That is what happens. There are groups. They are being trained to talk this way. How? Here he says, please understand, janma is nothing, means birth, taking birth is nothing. Changing yourself from one place to another place. Like transferring yourself from one place to another place. Shifting from one place to another place. Especially those who are children, child of a officer, and that person will be transferred every now and then. For example, I am just trying to give you an example. In Indian case and overseas case is worse. For example, those who are doing this foreign service, those who are working in embassies in different countries, those who are ambassador in working for foreign service embassies. So maximum they will stay, in Indian context wise, other country I do not know. In Indian context they will stay 36 months in one place. Let us say this year staying in Rome 36 months. Now you have to transfer, means you have to take everything, child, study, imagine, children have to study. Now goes to there is no language, suppose there are countries they don't understand English. The child will go through a tough time. The family, everything. Then after a moment you are able to settle, after 2 years you are getting settled down, you know people and everything, then again you are transferred. Just imagine the situation. How painful life is, not because sometimes children go through very tough time. The psychological drama, psychological trauma they go through, you cannot think of. Because they cannot develop friendship, they cannot do anything. Most of the time study is not that good. However, how you become uncomfortable when you are about to settle down, this is the point, remember. When you are about to settle down, now you start counting, we have to leave the place. You understand? This is the point you understand. Same thing, jananaṃ and maraṇaṃ. So when you work hard. So after around 50 to 60, when you are about to feel comfortable, you understand? Now just you are settling down, now your body starts making noise, you understand? Kada kada, kada kada. All noise comes. Means says, hey, look, now time has come for transfer. So you need to transport yourself. In fact, completely you have to change setup and everything. Everything is unknown. At least in transfer case, something is known. You understand? Sometimes many things are known. But in this case, when you transfer, there is nothing known. Neither the body, nor mind. People forget, situation, everything is new. And of course, in transfer cases also happens. Sometimes you come across good place, sometimes you come across a funny place. I won't say bad place, funny place. God knows what are the difficulties you are going to go through, or you are going to have very good time. You do not know. Same thing also, life after life. You do not know what life you are going to get. So that means this is the truth. That when you go through the transfer, if you look at transferring yourself from one place to another place, now you have to make yourself comfortable. This is the process is being highlighted. Punarapi jananaṃ, punarapi maraṇaṃ, punarapi jananījaṭharē śayanam. So in between the most important thing is, this also happens, before transferring, same concept. Before transferring, what happens? Before getting a new place, so you are being, taken away all the work because you are just namesake, but no portfolio. You are on job, but without any portfolio. You cannot decide, you cannot interfere, you cannot do anything. Means literally you are a Unoko. You understand? You cannot function this way, nor you can function that way, because you don't have anything at your disposal. So that means you have to depend upon others' mercy. You go there for nothing. If you don't go, also problem. You understand? Nobody cares because everybody knows. So that is the stage of jananījaṭharē śayanam. 9 months, remember, lying down in one place. That too dark. No light at all. Now because of this corona, just a few months you stayed in your house, you are going crazy. You are staying not only house, in your own country border, you are going crazy. You want the border to be opened so that you can travel. You understand? How quickly you can travel. You are so tired. But imagine, just you have stayed few months, but don't forget, 9 months, 10 days or whatever, more than 9 months, you stayed in one small place. And you are so tired of yourself, little bit when you try to kick, means move, not kick actually, you try to move yourself. Everybody enjoys, you understand? Starting with, hey, look, he kicked me, she kicked me. Hey, you are very uncomfortable, remember? Because you were uncomfortable, you moved, but other people enjoyed you. What a pathetic situation. So your uncomfortable situation is enjoyment for others. That is the stage of, jananījaṭharē śayanam, lying down in the womb, mother's womb. And the worst part is that you have to survive with mother's test. Mother goes crazy during that time. She has her own problem. So all sort of funny things she wants to eat. Now you have to survive with her test, because you are completely connected to her. Just imagine, think of all these angles. Okay, fantastic. All these things. Not only that, with that doesn't get over. And of course, when you are born, this is samsārē, that which keeps changing. When you are really dumped, literally you are dumped, thrown away, then what happens? Now you are completely helpless. And you have not really overcome the trauma that you went through. Not only that, even if your past memory also comes, that's why for few years, child is associated with the previous life memory. That's why child smiles, looks and cries. All these things are related to past memories. Now when you are there, it's not that easy to cross. But remember, here he says, to cross you need the God's grace. To overcome the difficulties, you need God's grace. This is what you have to understand. There are two things in our life. One is udyamam, one's own effort. Other one is called vibhu kṛpā, God's grace. And both always go together. You cannot replace God's grace with your effort. Nor you can replace your effort with God's grace. Both are not possible. Both of them are complementing each other. They goes hand in hand together. We say, as a bird needs 2 wings, then only a bird can fly comfortably, easily. So also we have 2 wings. One is called effort, other one is called God's grace. Suppose only you are interested in God's grace, neglecting your work, your effort, definitely there is a disaster in your life. And so-called this intellectuals, so-called achievers, only You understand? Only I can achieve anything and everything by my effort. That person's life is equally disaster. So the life has to be balanced. That's why never ever neglect to tap the grace of God. This is the point is being highlighted at this moment. Because God's grace is everywhere. And it is available for everybody, as the water is. Water is everywhere. Even if you go to the mountains, on the earth, means down below the mountain, there is water. Yes, somewhere it will be 100 feet down or 100 meters down, somewhere it will be, 1 kilometer down, 1000 meter down. That's the difference. But water is everywhere as the God's grace. But it depends upon how you tap it. So tapping the God's grace, most important aspect, remember, tapping the God's grace is your responsibility. It is your duty. So your effort should spend, or your effort should really be useful to tap the grace of God. But the problem is, you do not put effort to tap the grace. This is the problem. Either you put the effort. So when your effort does not bring the result or expected result, that time you rely upon God's grace. You lean upon, you look for God's grace. Can you see this point? But you never put effort to tap the grace of God. So when you start tapping the grace of God, you will discover not only you will have success, and even if there is no success, please understand, you will never get frustrated, because each failure will make you to grow more and more emotionally. Every situation will teach you. In fact, you will not repeat any situation. Remember this point. I'll give you the clear picture here. That time you repeat the same situation when you are lacking in grace. I'm repeating. That time you repeat the same situation when you are lacking in tapping, I would rather say lacking in tapping the grace. If grace is there, you may escape. Remember, if there is grace, you may escape. But again you will repeat. Because you are not putting effort to tap the grace of God. And when, remember, example of this bird. Suppose only one wing is there. Other wing is not there, or paralyzed, or not working properly. Will that bird be able to fly? Difficult. Flap. Little bit here and there, fall down. Fall down. You understand what I am trying to say? Same thing also, that your own willpower, your own effort, and God's grace. If anyone is weaker, if both of them do not go hand in hand together, definitely your life will not be smooth. So if you want to make your life smoother, or you can talk yourself, ask yourself, if your life is not smooth, that means somewhere any one of them are not balanced, means not okay. Both of them are not balanced. That's why some people are very good in tapping the grace. Some people are very good strengthening the willpower. So that's why what happens when I say tapping the grace, actually they don't tap the grace, they lean upon the grace, they depend upon the grace. You understand? They pretend that they are tapping, but in reality they don't tap. That's the truth, this is the reality. But you can give the benefit of doubt. So that's why what we need to do here is, every moment of your life, make sure that your willpower and the God's grace, because there are X factors are involved in your life. Because if the God's grace is not there, how can you take care of the X factor in your life? And for every situation, there is X factor. X factor, X means unknown factor, okay? So I'm using the X factor, okay? So unknown factors. So how to handle that X factor? Do you have any means? Do you have any tools? Do you have anything other than God's grace? And of course, there are known factors. So known factors say, do you need what? Not God's grace. Remember, for known factors, you need your own effort. God has given you mind. And you know, let me share one beautiful story. How people depend upon completely God's grace, forget the willpower, known factor. So there is a devotee, all of the time he used to pray God. And of course the God said, look, whoever prays me, I will protect right hand. And it happened so. The person was doing prayer and a flood came. So when the flood came, so people started calling him, hey, look, flood is coming. Don't spend time there. Please come away. Leave the temple, leave the place, come away. Because this is not right time. Please leave. No. Why should I? God will come to protect me. Because that is the God statement. Okay. Then water started entering. So when water started entering, so poor fellow did not know what to do. Then somehow he managed to climb up. And of course people noticed one boatman went there to rescue him. So please come, put the rope and everything. Finally, do you know what happened? He said, no. God has said that he will come and rescue me. I don't want to go along with this boatman. Please go. Of course, poor boatman left the place. Finally, this news reached everywhere. As usual, everybody highlighted, social media, TV channel, everywhere. Then helicopter was sent to rescue him. So when the helicopter went to rescue him, as usual, he said, no. The God has to come to rescue me. Why should I go with you? And the story goes further. He passed away. So after he passed away, of course, so he went to, let us say, assume heaven with so much anger. This is the problem, okay? Anger means what? Your expectation is not fulfilled. Because whenever you are angry, that means your expectation is not fulfilled. So unresolved thoughts you have, and because unresolved thoughts you have, so that's why you are angry. And whenever you anger, always you target the opposition, but not yourself. You are supposed to see your expectation, not target others. However, this fellow went up, already targeted whom? Poor God. God was a target. Poor God, what can he do? He abused. That is the worst thing happens when you get angry. You start abusing. And that's why always I notice one thing, to be very honest, whenever I am the object of, abuse, if somebody start abusing, what I say? Yes, okay, true. Because somehow I try to manage. If I can escape, fine. If I cannot escape, to be very honest, I somehow manage. Because I have seen one case I cannot forget. Please understand, once long back, I was reading, somebody was talking to me something. So to avoid what I did, I tried to read a newspaper. So that because if you listen, yes, you will get caught. Because I don't listen, to be very honest. So I pretended that I am listening. So I took the newspaper covering myself. Yes, true. Yes. The person got so angry. I am talking to you. So obviously you are not listening to me. Always you are reading newspaper, and pulled the newspaper from me. And of course, as usual, what I did, I said, okay, thank you, I am going. I left that house. I said, I am no more, I will come to your house. Coming back. So this fellow went to the heaven and abused God. And God did not understand that. So God asked, what happened? No, you told me that you will take care of me. And look, I did everything whole life only for your sake. You don't care me. This is the problem, you don't care me. Of course, God will say, of course, why should I care you? That's my version, okay? If I happen to God, I say, why should I care? You think that I don't have any other job to do or what? I have taken a contract to take care of you or what? However, then God of course had to pretend, yes, what? Why? What did I do? No, you don't care me. This is the problem. Now, yes, tell me. Because you told me that whoever prays me, you will rescue. Yes, I have told, I do it. Whatever I say, I respect my words. No, look, I died. Nobody, you did not come to take care of me. God smiled. What are you talking? I of course came. Not only once, 3 times I have come to you. No, what? No, yes, 3 times I have come to you. First I came as one of the villagers. Hey, please come. Water is coming, water is getting in. Please come. But you did not recognize me. Second time I came as a boatman to rescue you. But you are so adamant with yourself. You are so stubborn with yourself. You are so, narrow-minded, thinking that God has to come with a different form, different way, the way you imagine. Means other has to come in your imaginary way. Means has to fulfill your imagination. And you could not recognize me that I came there as a boatman. Finally, again I thought of, let me rescue him, whatever it may be. I came as a pilot. Through the helicopter, I thought, no, maybe this fellow deserves little bigger thing, better thing. That's why I came as a pilot to take care of you, to rescue you. Finally, what happened? You rejected. And you are complaining, you are abusing that I didn't take care of you. Please understand. Now, did that person tap the grace of God or depended on the grace of God? So, tapping the grace of God and depending on grace of God, there is a big difference. So, in any relationship, whether it's God or human being or anybody, you need to tap the grace of others. Don't depend upon the grace of others. Because when you have to tap the grace of God, you have to do things that willpower has to be supporting, has to support. So that's why in life, if you want to really live in a better way, you want to cross this life of samsara, this ocean of samsara, you need both willpower and God's grace. That is what was highlighted in this verse. More of it we'll see. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.